Hey everyone, this is Amber Key, and you're listening to a Bright Idea podcast, a show where I sit down with entrepreneurs to discuss the aha moments that launched their businesses. On today's episode, we're joined by founder of Imania Beauty, Nia Wellman. For years, Nia Imani captivated audiences as a natural hair influencer on YouTube, collaborating with industry giants like Mielle Organics, The Main Choice, and Shea Moisture. With over 125,000 subscribers on YouTube, she knew it was time to harness her expertise for her own brand. Introducing Imania Beauty, where luxury meets natural. Nia created a High Maintenance Elixir, a multi-purpose hair and scalp oil infused with a blend of broad-spectrum CBD and natural ingredients, meticulously formulated to stimulate hair growth, soothe the scalp, and lock in moisture. Using her knowledge of digital marketing through influencing, Nia has built a large following on Instagram and a dedicated email list. Since the launch of her elixir, Nia has launched other streams of income, including a hair extensions line and a hair salon located in the Atlanta area. With a mission to give your hair a break, Nia aims to redefine the hair care experience, making it relaxing and enjoyable for everyone. As Nia leads the charge, she paves the way for other Black women to pursue their dreams in beauty entrepreneurship. Before I start, though, I feel like we should play a little game. Usually I do the rapid fire at the end, but I'm going to start in the beginning just to break the ice.
Cool.
So you're from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I'm from Lithonia.
Okay, where is that?
It's Metro Atlanta, so it's not in the city of Atlanta, but it's the east side of Atlanta.
Okay, I like that you said that too, because I'm from Pittsburgh, and I meet people all the time that say they're from Pittsburgh. So I'm like, oh, what neighborhood? Like I'm from the city, and people be like, I'm from Monroeville,
all the way
and
over there.
I'm like, I've never that's not
It's not, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. So thanks for differentiating that, but it's funny because now I'm in DC, and I feel like DC is such a transient place, so that you never really meet people from DC. I feel like Atlanta, especially now with all the growth you guys are having, all the industries, just across the board, that you probably don't find a lot of people that are from.
I know people from Atlanta, so it's it kind of keeps me close, but I definitely meet a lot of people. It's kind of like half and half. You definitely still meet a lot of people that are actually from here. And you do meet a lot of people that's not from here, but I'm always welcoming because it's cool to meet people that's not from here.
Yeah. What is something about Atlanta that most people don't know?
I think a lot of people think Atlanta is just this luxurious Black haven, which it can be, but it's also just another state in America. So it's not a utopia. It's real life. And I think people forget that. I think they come here with high hopes and high dreams, but it's really still just the real world. It's just like any other place. But honestly, I would say Atlanta has good food. You just have to know where you're eating, and don't eat at the touristy places.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny because one of my questions was what's your favorite go-to spot?
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Honestly, if I want pizza, I'll go to Fellini's. If I want Mexican food, you can really get Mexican food at a good local spot. I do like La Fonda. That's a good little Mexican spot. I don't know. I really eat at the same places.
Okay.
But honestly, I would say probably Fellini's or La Fonda.
Has Keith Lee hit any of those places?
I don't think all the places he went, I was just kind of why would you go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. When you're not working, where can we find you?
In the bed or at Pilates.
It's Pilates. I'm into Pilates too.
Yeah, in the bed or at Pilates. I've become a Pilates girl. I started going in December, and I really like that.
I know. Do you do solid core, or is it a studio?
It's a studio. I actually go to a Black woman's house, and she built a Pilates studio in her basement. So shout out to Allison of All Pilates in Decatur, because she gets down. She doesn't play.
I love it. And Pilates really. People sleep on Pilates, but
they think it's a cute girly sport.
No, it's not.
Not.
That shit is hard.
Yeah, but I do like it because it doesn't hurt afterwards.
I like
Yeah,
it
I
because
like
I feel like the results are quick. Like, I don't know,
yeah.
like after my first Pilates class, like I was just toned. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm cute.
Yeah. Truly.
I love that. Okay. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Honestly, just listen to yourself. I feel like that's it. Like, I think we kind of look outside of ourselves for a lot of things and a lot of answers. And people are insightful and wise, but I feel like the best wisdom you can truly gain is from like listening to your intuition. Like, 9 times out of 10, they won't lie. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, listening to yourself is the best thing you could do.
Yeah, I feel like that is such a good advice too because there's so much outside noise that you get like clouded. Your judgment can
Mhm.
get clouded. So that
Absolutely.
I love that. Because I know you're a social media girly.
Mhm.
Vine, this is a throwback. Okay.
Okay.
Vine or TikTok?
Feel like TikTok is Vine, if that makes sense. Like it's the same thing, but I loved Vine because it was really much like crackhead energy. I feel like now TikTok every day I'm scrolling, it's like, okay, it's getting sometimes it gets too serious. And I
Okay.
feel like now we just know too much about each other. Vine was very comedic. So
Yes.
I would say Vine.
I
Yeah.
love that. Okay, and lastly, what's a song that represents the stage of your life you're in right now?
Mm, I would say, what is that song? It's called Closer. I don't know how
Mm,
to pronounce her name. I think it's like Goapelle, something like that. But I
mm.
love that song.
Okay.
I'm sure you know it.
No, I feel like you have to like give me
Going
like,
closer to my dreams.
oh,
Yeah,
I love it.
I love
Yes.
that song.
Why is that? Why is that
I
song?
just feel like okay, so I just moved into my own salon like last week. And I've literally only like set up enough stuff just to take my own clients, but it's like enough space for me to have 3 stations in there. So there's still boxes in there. It's
Mhm.
still under construction. But when I'm like, I'm in there, I'm shampooing clients and I'm listening to my little playlist and that song comes on, I'm like, wow, like you really are in your own space. Like you really did this. Like this is not something like maybe a month or two ago I'm on Pinterest making like a board, like my future salon.
Yeah.
Like this all kind of just transitioned within like maybe it kind of felt like overnight. So it's just like it's just nice to see things kind of unraveling and shaping how I would want them to.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're in it, you don't pay
Mhm.
attention to like how
Yeah,
far you've actually gotten.
exactly. So you
Yeah.
sometimes you really have to sit down and be like, wow, like okay,
Yeah, you got
like
to
I'm
go
where I
back
want
to
to
that.
be.
Exactly. Go back to that board that you worked on a few years ago.
Absolutely.
I love that. So now that we know a little bit about you, and I'm so glad that you brought up the song that represents the stage of your life you're in now, because I want to go back to let's talk about how you got there. Like
Okay.
before there was a hair product, before the salons and they had hair extensions that you sell, like there was a YouTube channel.
Hmm.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I started my YouTube journey. Honestly, I've been on social media for so long. Like it really started with MySpace. So I used to be like the MySpace girl in like middle school. I would edit people's pages and their pictures for them. Like I would stay up all night coding, like, but I really knew how to work the internet. So like from then I've always just kind of known how to work the internet. So once we like evolved past not MySpace, we kind of went onto Facebook in a way, but I was really like a Tumblr girl. So I just like to like I've
Mm,
always loved photography. From a young age my mom like always had really thick photo albums of us and I love that. I love the idea of just documenting your life and really
mm,
being able to look back and like like okay, I've grown, like this is where I was in that point in my life. So I think my cousin and I started a YouTube channel, but we were like making like rap parodies. It wasn't nothing too serious. But at this time, I'm also like discovering myself, discovering my hair. My mom stopped doing my hair when I was in fifth grade. So now I'm trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do to my hair? But I
yeah.
love my hair. So I really want to take care of it. And this is the time where everybody's like kind of permed or like pressing their hair out. And I'm like, that's not me. So I'm trying to figure myself out. So as I'm figuring myself out, I'm kind of coming across YouTube videos of like the natural hair movement. I'm like, I could do that. So
Hmm.
I think I don't remember. I think my parents got me a camera. I was like, I want to take pictures. I want to be a photographer. I want to be on YouTube. My parents got me a camera. I think I got a tripod from like Goodwill. And I just started making tutorials. Like, this is how I do my hair. People at school is asking me, how do I take care of my hair? I'm like, well, I'm gonna show y'all. here's the link. And honestly, that's really what it was. Like, I just wanted Black people, Black girls, Black women, even Black boys to just love what came out of their scalp, because I
Yeah.
just seen a lot of bad weaves, a lot of bad wigs, a lot of bad hair. And I'm just like, we don't have to live like this. Like,
Mhm.
you can have healthy hair. Black people have healthy hair. Black people have beautiful hair. Our hair is beautiful. It takes patience, it takes time. And I want to, encourage people to embrace that. So honestly, that's really what sparked me, like truly becoming the internet's natural hair bestie. Is like, I just want Black people to be proud of their hair.
So you were in 5th grade when you started your YouTube channel?
No, when I started doing my own hair.
Oh, oh,
I think I probably uploaded like my first video on YouTube when I was like in 7th grade. So that had to be like 2009. But I really started taking YouTube seriously, let's say like 2010, 2011.
but the even still, like, that's so crazy because I think I was in oh, I'm thinking about my own natural hair journey. So I used to sit in the salon like from the time I was like 7 years old until I want to say like 17. Then I went off to school and I didn't
Mhm,
have my hairstylist anymore. I wasn't getting relaxers anymore. So that's how I started going natural. And I
mhm.
remember me and my roommate would sit in our college dorm as freshmen and we would just be like, we didn't even have like money to buy products. So I don't know where we were literally like mixing eggs and like avocados in our
Yeah.
room and watching YouTube. And
Mhm.
so it's just crazy how even at such a young age, like you were like, this is how I do my hair. This is the tutorial. So like what kind of products were you using? Like what
I was using like
like
Cantu and like
okay,
Styler gel and maybe
okay.
like some Lotta Body mousse. That was what I was using.
That's
But
so
at
funny.
the time, like my mom, she was like realizing like, okay, Nia really likes taking care of her hair. So I think at one point she was subscribed to some type of curl subscription box. So that
Okay.
was also like my gateway into like understanding like more products. My sister's also like an esthetician, so she kind of had products. And little sister's always like in big sister stuff. So I was in her stuff, my mom's stuff. But I was really starting to like, just kind of explore products, see what worked, what didn't work. And I was like, this is good and this is terrible. So I kind of knew. And I would honestly like go to Walmart too and or Target and be like, okay, what's new? Even and at the time, it's just kind of crazy to see how things have evolved and haven't evolved, because the selection was limited. But it when I think about it, it's really not that different than what it is today,
Mm,
unfortunately.
okay. In what ways?
I just feel like the selection of products is still very slim for textured hair at the for the most part. Like actually curl defining products and products that really work for us is still a very slim selection when you go into certain stores.
I would agree with that. I also think that because a store has a natural curly hair section, they think it's like one size fits all.
Absolutely.
But, like, even my sister is my own blood, and we don't have the same hair texture. Some
Exactly.
things that work for her don't work for me and vice versa. So, I wanna know though, like, back then and back in the day on YouTube doing hair tutorials, who else was out there? Like,
Oh yeah, like who? Mahogany curls, Natural 85.
Natural was my girl, yeah.
Who else? It was so many women who like really shaped my journey. And it's so many I probably can't even like remember their names, but I know like watching their videos, I'm like, yeah, like it really felt good to see like darker, deeper skinned women
Mhm.
with curly hair taking care of their hair. Like that representation was really important to see. So yeah, definitely shout out to the OGs that really paved the way for this. Because it really was like, where do I start? Or like, what else can I learn?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
So did it start off as, like, tutorials and then you worked into maybe did you talk about your natural hair journey to, like, what was the concept behind your YouTube channel?
tutorials, product reviews, beauty reviews. I would like review different eyeshadows. I would do date like get ready with me. I know that people think that that's such like a new concept, but I've been like making like get ready with me first day of school, get
I
ready
love
with me
that.
for prom, all of that good stuff. Like I would post like fashion blogs, like this is what I wore to school today, my hair, my outfit, all of that. So I've just always been a beauty, fashion, lifestyle girl.
Mm.
I made vlogs in high school too. So it's like it's been a culmination of different things. I think at some point too, I was like making parodies and then also like documentaries about colorism. So I've always like kind of touched on these topics. I felt like as a Black girl, like wanted to see myself in beauty and fashion, but also wanted to like hone in and talk about things that are actually important and things that like I deal with on a daily basis, whether it's like colorism, racism, misogyny, all of that type of stuff. I like to like touch on my channel or my platforms.
I think that YouTube is such a great platform because of community. Like you were probably just sharing your story and what interests you. You were probably touching so many people, and it shows because I did my research. You have like 126,000 like
Mhm.
subscribers. Like that's wild. So like, what was like the feedback from some of the people that you were reaching and like your followers and things?
Definitely positive feedback. I think with anything you'll receive negative, and I'm like, I used to always like snap back or clap back on people, but I'm like, let's focus on like the people who like are supporting this. So I've like, it's still crazy to this day. I still meet people in the streets, like in random states, in random towns. I'll meet people, and they're like, "Are you Nia from YouTube?" And I'm
That's
like,
so
"Yeah."
funny.
Like, so I feel like I've really touched a lot of people, like grown women, people my age, young men. It's just been like a culmination of people. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's been beautiful to know that it's like greater than me and it's
Mm.
not just for me, it's for other people too. So I feel like the community that I've like cultivated across platforms has been really like large and honestly positive.
No, I love that. And also, as someone, I mean, you're an influencer. So with influence comes monetizing your YouTube channel. So when did you start getting like partnerships and it started to become like a job essentially for you?
I would say 2015, 2016. So like when I graduated high school, May of 2015, and then I went to Hampton. I started my matriculation at Hampton University. So then I'm like creating more hair content, but I'm also creating college vlogs and just sharing my life as like a college student. So at that time, I'm like making more hair videos, making more vlogs, and brands are reaching out. And at the time, I didn't have a wealth of knowledge, but I knew to charge a little bit. So I was like on platforms like trying to find product or do reviews in exchange for products, and I was starting to like monetize with AdSense, and that's basically like how you get paid through YouTube for ads. So I would say 2015, 2016 is when I started to get my feet wet when it came to like truly monetizing, but in different ways, whether that was through AdSense or through paid partnerships or through paid or through like affiliate marketing, which is basically like where you say, hey, like you can use this link to purchase something and I will get a percentage of that.
Were you reaching out to these brands or were brands finding you because you of your following?
It was a mix of both. I think that this is like the start of me like understanding like pitching and pitching myself and showing people like, hey, like this is the place and the platform that you can market on. If you work with me, I will highlight your product, especially for like cosmetics, natural hair products. So it was kind of like a mix of both.
Okay. I love how you said that you'll still see people out in the streets who like recognize you. A few days ago, I had mentioned my sister and went to Hampton as well. You know,
Yeah.
my sister, and I was telling her that I was about to talk, that I was talking to you today, and she was like, "Oh, everyone knew about Nia's YouTube channel. Like everybody, like Nia would drop a YouTube channel, and people would be like at the dining hall, like Nia's just dropped. Like we gotta watch." They'd be like sitting there on their phones watching it. So, how did you like balance that in college as being like a full time student and then also like running a digital business, basically?
I don't know what I was doing. I felt I don't even like when I look back on like college Nia, I'm like, are you good? Like I don't know. I mean, I was hungry. Like that's what I wanted to do. So I made it make sense. Like I knew, okay, hey, like you got class at 10, you need to wake up and finish that tutorial. Like finish recording. Like if you got to be somewhere, make some type of content beforehand. So I was just fitting it into my schedule. My work was done. I was using my planner. I was sometimes editing class, but everything was getting done more than
Mm,
anything. Like I wasn't slacking off. I knew if I wanted to do content, that schoolwork still had to be done. So
yeah.
I think more than anything, it was just finding that medium in that happy ground with understanding like you have to allot time for the things that you deem important. So that's something I think that really allowed me to balance is just understanding like I want this. So I want this degree and I want this YouTube money. So I got to figure out how to make the both of those things work.
Yeah, and at the time, did you think your future was gonna be YouTube? Like, did you think that YouTube was a means to the end? Like, what was your goal, sort of?
So I came. So my I got my degree in strategic communications with a minor in cinema studies. So I came in kind of understanding like, okay, I like social media. I like where it's headed. I like digital. I like, you know, I like that world. So I did feel like, okay, this was in alignment with what I want to do. And I felt like YouTube, I didn't know that being a content creator would necessarily, or an influencer would necessarily be a career that I would have. But I was like, hey, let's do it.
Mm.
So no, I wouldn't say I knew that would be the means to my end, but it started to reveal itself that it's in alignment with my purpose.
So tell me about the transition from, first of all, before I get into that, I just want to like say, just in listening to you talk and listening to your journey, like I know what I was doing at 19 years old, and it wasn't making YouTube videos and it wasn't trying to figure out how I was going to make my own money. It was
Mhm.
like, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to find a job, I'm going to work for somebody else. Like, have you always just like known your purpose, known your alignment? And like, how do you, like, what's that experience like with your peers? And like, because I feel like
That's a
you're
good
you're like
question.
you're like one of one. So like, how does that like how does that work?
I would say so. I started working when I was like 14, 15 because I wanted to buy things and I needed some money to buy those things. So
Yeah.
I started working like at a fast food restaurant. I think one summer I was working two jobs. Like I was just all about my check. But I'm like, when I was like maybe my senior year of high school, I was working at a fast food restaurant called Zaxby's. And I would be on the closing shift. So I would be there from like 4 to damn near like 11 o'clock at night, maybe
Mm.
sometimes 12, and feet hurting, just terrible. And I'm like, I just will never forget. And I think it's so funny because I was in class one day and I was like, I have to work for myself. Like, I have to work for myself. Like, I can't be on somebody else's time. Like,
Mhm.
I can't do it. So I think more than anything, I enjoyed the flexibility of like making my own money on my own terms.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a lot of power in the tongue. So I had to like some stuff just you are called to it and you gotta pick up the call. Like you can't ignore it. Like as much as like I haven't posted on YouTube, it sounds bad, but like I haven't posted on YouTube in like 6 months. And I'm
Mm.
like, Nia, it's time to pick that back up. Cause it's like people still be like, okay, so where's the tutorials? Where's the videos? Where's the vlogs? So it's like if you are constantly hearing people are constantly asking you for certain things in your life, or they're seeking advice from you for certain things. I feel like that's kind of where your purpose and your alignment is. Like that's what you're here to do. I think sometimes we try to ignore that and we think that it's like background noise, but if the same people asking you the same stuff all the time, you got
Yeah.
something's got to give.
Are you the friend in your real life that people come to for things and
Random
advice?
people, random. I will meet people in the street and they'll tell me their whole life story, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and I'll give them advice, and they feel so comforted, and I'm like, I'm fine with that.
I
Like
think
I'm
it's
cool
the
with
way
that.
you yeah, I think it's the way you just walk. Like you just
Aw.
like I feel like you like I know everybody in their own personal lives like shit is crazy and we're all like I don't know how I'm getting through this day, but like it is just like the perception like I feel like just in hearing you talk like you know what you need to do to get
Mm.
it done, you know?
Let's face it, starting a business is hard work, and building a website for a business, that's another story. Why not hire some help? 35th Street Builders are not just website builders, they're dreamers. With experience spanning in startups to enterprises, 35th Street Builders will provide you with the mobile app and web development skills to get your business up and running. At 35th Street Builders, they pride themselves on affordability, reliability, and compassion. Ready to take some work off your plate? You can schedule an intro call with 35th Street Builders by going to their website at 3sb.io. That's the number 3, the letter S, the letter B.io.
So let's talk about the entrepreneurship piece. So did you take a break from YouTube when you were thinking about transitioning into products and like take me on that journey a little bit?
So after graduating, I could not get a job. Nobody wanted to hire me. I went on an interview once, and somebody said, "Okay, we Googled you. Why are you here?" I said, "Babe, I need a job." Like
Yeah.
honestly, and I didn't. let's unpack that, because influencing, YouTube content creating, those things are amazing. They're great. I really started to understand like how to monetize my platforms, how to charge for my worth, etc. Mind you, I'm garnishing millions and thousands and hundreds of thousands of views. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you don't look like a certain type of Black woman, people don't want to pay you accordingly, right? Black women are not paid adequately in this social media thing. Like they think that we don't know what we're talking about, right?
Mm.
And that's very devastating. That's very like harrowing. It really hurts you to know like you take so much time when you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your craft, you're learning new skills, and people just want to pay you in free product. Free product doesn't pay my bills. So I was hit with a really hard reality after graduation, like, Nia, this YouTube, you're successful, but it's not paying you how you need to be paid in order to really live like an adult life. So I graduated 2019, COVID happened 2020. I founded my hair care brand August of 2020, Imania Beauty, because I'm like, I've worked with hair care brands. I love these brands, but there still was a gap and there
Mm.
was still something missing. And for me, it was the importance of scalp health. We focus so much on hydration, we focus so much on moisture, curl definition, etc. But so many people, I would talk to people and they tell me they only wash their hair once a month. And I'm like, you're causing your own scalp like you're causing
Mm.
your own scalp conditions. And we kind of need to shift how we're talking about hair, because yeah, curl definition and moisture and length retention, all of those things are amazing. But a happy scalp is that's just happy hair, that's healthy hair, period.
Mm.
So my whole goal with founding Imania Beauty was really to focus on creating a scalp, like a healthy scalp environment. So it's really like our whole model is give your scalp a break. So I founded it in 2020. We launched with our High Maintenance Elixir, which is a multi-purpose hair and scalp oil. It helps to stimulate healthy hair growth, but it also helps to eliminate scalp conditions like dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted something that was my own, and I didn't really want to continue to be taken advantage of when it came to the beauty industry and like really having to rely on brands to like, bring me income, because I knew what great products were. I know what good ingredients are, so I can figure it out and I can make my own brand. So that
Yeah.
was really like, I really wanted to help people, but also help myself as well.
So that was your aha moment of like
Yeah,
all these products are online, but no one's focusing on the scalp itself.
absolutely.
That's wild. So what are the ingredients that you're using for your elixir?
Absolutely. So we have what's our main base oil for our elixir is safflower seed oil. So safflower oil is like really similar to our scalp or our skin's natural sebum, which is like the oil our hair and our scalp, or our hair and our skin produces. So with like African Americans, we produce a lot of sebum. However, because our hair is so coily, it
Mm.
really doesn't like go all the way down the shaft. So I wanted
Okay.
something that was kind of like lightweight, but also mimicked our natural sebum. So it has that. It also has black seed oil and it has neem oil, which are really like antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, they are like wound healing oils that really help to fight everything basically, and like really target scalp conditions like I mentioned, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis. But it also is filled with like amazing growth stimulating herbs like amla, rosemary, mint, lavender. The list
Hmm.
goes on. It's a lot of great ingredients in our oil, so I'm really proud of it because so many people have like healed their scalp, grown their hair, and continue to grow their hair. So
Yeah. Have you worked with anyone with alopecia? I know that that's pretty common for Black women.
absolutely. A lot of
Okay.
my customers have had postpartum shedding from, having children. My mother herself, she's on like high blood pressure medicine, so her hair started to thin really severely in the middle. We started massaging her scalp and implementing that in her routine. Her hair has grown tremendously. So we've definitely like had like an array of customers in different scalp conditions.
No, that's awesome. And how did you discover this formula and that it was going to work? And like what was your testing process like?
Honestly, research. Excuse me. I just was, girl, I was up late night, like reading about herbs and like Ayurvedic medicine and African herbs and just different healing ailments. And honestly, I grew up in a house where we really did use a lot of like herbs and natural oils. Like I've always like oiled my scalp. Like that was just something that I've always done. I've always done hot oil treatments. And I'm like, okay, what other oils can I use? Because I would meet a lot of people and everybody's hair is varying. So some oils, like I love olive oil, but that may be thick. That may be too thick and too heavy for some people. So I wanted to find like a middle ground that would be good for all types of people. Whether like they had fine hair, they had really coarse hair, it would be an oil that wouldn't weigh their hair down.
You talked a lot. You talked about how you grew up using oils in your hair, and it's so funny because, like, as Black women, as Black people in general, like we do grow up using concocting all these things in our
Yes.
kitchen, like going in the backyard and getting herbs, and like that is. I mean, we've been doing it for so many years. We haven't capitalized on it like we should be, and now we're doing it now with your elixir. But it's so true. Is like these natural products is it more than like a pill or going to a doctor and getting all this medication, and like those things work as well, but like it's really just what's in our backyard sometimes
Literally.
that helps bring the hair back.
Absolutely.
I was also doing my research, and it looks like so you founded this particular product in 2020 during the pandemic when you were looking for a job. And it really, I feel like that is God's timing, but it's also perfect timing because the salons were closed. Like people were having to do home regimens like to figure
Absolutely.
out their hair. So I was just looking at, I think like according to some research in that time in 2020, I think sustainable ingredients for hair care sales was at like $232 million. Like,
Yeah, I mean, people were at home, like you
yeah,
said, salons were closed, so everybody was looking for ways that they can still treat themselves and treat their hair and treat their skin at home. So it was
yeah,
definitely like the pandemic was like a time for a lot of people to like come up with business ideas to help people for real, for real. Because I
yeah,
feel like we were just everybody was tired, like
yes.
of the lies and the BS and they just everybody wanted real things.
Yes. And sustainability is so big right now, and that's all people want, which I like that that's what you're doing with your product as well. Can you walk me through, like, how did you find the funding to launch this product?
So it's funny, right? So I started Imania Beauty with $2,500. It was actually a check that I received from a hair care brand from doing a campaign. So that's it. Like anything I do, wherever I get my little bit of money, I just like pour it into the things that I want to do. So if I have $100, I'm like, well, Nia, what can we really do with $100? So actually started off. I think I was on and I know so better. I know better now, but I was on Etsy and I was like buying oils and herbs, and I went to like the DeKalb County Farmers Market, which is like this big international farmers market here. I found some herbs and I started like like making stuff. I'm like, okay, I like this. I don't like this. I may want to use this. I don't want to use that. And when I really found a formula that I truly, truly liked, I like was showing people like, hey, I'm working on this. Who wants to test it out? And I think like 20 people like was like, hey, I want to try it out. And they was really trying it out. Like, so
Mm.
I think really what's important too is like keeping that community at the forefront, and they gave me real honest feedback, and the product was never terrible, but it was like, hey, maybe let's improve the scent, let's make it a little heavier, let's do this, that, and the third. So I always appreciate the people who support me, because
Yeah.
it be strangers, it be people I've never met, but they will always like support me to this day, like, hey, like I want to try out your new product.
Mm.
And I love that, and I really truly appreciate that always. So that's how I started it off, with $2,500 in a dream.
That is amazing. So, what was the time period between creating the product, testing the product out on a few people, and then going to market?
I feel like, so I think I started testing, let's say February of
Okay.
2020. Let's say it's February of 2020. I know I filed for my LLC in April of 2020, and I was just kind of getting things in order and still like, figuring it out, cuz I launched in August 22nd of 2020. That's when we launched. So, let's say between February, July. That was the testing period, that was the design, that was the all of that was taking place in between that time before launching.
So, for my listeners, because what I was reading was how you launched this product. And essentially, because of your experience in digital, you kind of knew the formula to get people to buy and get people interested. For people who are out there that are looking to start a product, like take me through your launch plan. And like, what do you think helped to get people to buy from you?
So I would say having a personal brand helps, you know, and if you really want to be an influencer in this day and age, not an influencer, an entrepreneur in this day and age, it does help to have a personal brand because ultimately people are they're interested in you and they're invested in you before they're invested in a product that you may be having. So I think me first and foremost being a natural hair content creator and influencer, a truthful one at that. Like I never really compromised my morals for a paycheck. So if I didn't like something, even if it was a paid ad and the brand said, please don't tell the truth, I'm like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So I've always really cared about like having integrity and being honest with people and
Mhm.
letting them know what's the truth. So I think having my personal brand be that absolutely helped with launching Imania Beauty. But for other than that, I think it's important to like show people the process. I think we really want things to be perfect. We want them to look good. And that's not life. Like life is ugly, it's a journey and it takes time. So I was showing people the real, like this is me in my mom's, you know, kitchen in her dining room making product, packaging orders, whisking these things up. Like this is me on the way to the post office, like really showing people what's really going on. I think it kind of lets them be in on the journey and people want to feel like this is their journey too. So I would say if you're interested in launching a brand, if you're interested in becoming an entrepreneur, don't be scared of the ugly. Like it's just inevitable. Everything is not gonna, you know, you're not gonna always start off at 100% and that's okay. But the fact that you're even starting, some people don't even do that. So
Mhm.
just do that.
People love the behind the scenes, like
They
the
love it.
process of making things.
People love the process.
Yeah.
People love
So
the process.
when you launched, like your launch date, how many did you sell?
Oh, I think like 200. They people were showing out. Like I was seeing, it was a decent amount. It was I think like 200 bottles. I think I sold.
How many units did you make?
I was let's say like I probably only made 100, so I had to make some more stuff. I was like, well, we got to make some more bottles, which is fine.
That's why were most of the people from like were they your subscribers, your followers already?
It was a mix of like people I grew up with, people I went to college with, subscribers, like a mix of different people
That's
supporting me.
wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you already had the influence on the back end, which helped to promote and launch this business because people already knew about you. But what about people who don't have the Instagram following yet? Like how can they sort of like build awareness or build their content up so that people know what they do?
I feel like SEO is your best friend. So search engine optimization, like what problem are you really solving? So when I was like posting like BTS of me making the oil, talking about the herbs, different things like that, I'm using hashtags like seborrheic dermatitis, psoriasis, scalp eczema, hair growth oil, lock oil, braid oil, like getting specific. I think people are scared to use hashtags,
Mm.
but we all are somewhere on the internet typing in something. You get what I'm saying? Like we're
Right.
that's what we're doing. So make it easier for people to come and find you and what you have to offer. So it may start slow, but that's okay. Like everybody, when I started my business page, the people who are following me didn't all follow my business page. It was
Yeah.
people coming in. So be open to everybody that you know not supporting you because everybody that you know is not your target audience. So get real serious about your SEO and who it is that you're trying to attract more than anything.
Were you also posting on your personal page too to try to get people to
Definitely.
follow
Of
your
course.
business
Yeah, of course.
page?
Yeah, they gotta, you know, I feel like it's important. You can't be too humble to like share what you got going on. So absolutely, I definitely was posted on my personal page and optimizing that community as well.
So it transitioning. So we have the elixir,
Mhm.
and then you have your bundles that you sell,
Yes.
and then you do hair.
Yes.
So which one came next?
So 2021, I started doing hair. So I got into a car accident in July, the end of July. I was like on bed rest for like a few months because I broke my ankle.
Damn.
Yeah, I was down for the count, but I was like, I'm sitting in the bed. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, what's next? Like asking God, like, just praying, like, what else? What's next for me? Like, what do you really want from me? And I'm doing hair. And I'm like, okay, like, granted, I've done hair, which is like funny, but I kind of ran from that. I'm like, okay, I just do my own hair.
Mm.
But like, I used to do like little girls' hairs in college. I was doing makeup and I was doing hair. So it wasn't that I didn't know how to do hair, but I think I will be candid and say I didn't think that being a stylist could be a profitable career
Mm.
because I hadn't seen it done in that way, but I was open to exploring that. And I think more than anything, too, being a stylist really has helped me figure out what products I really need to be making because I see so many of the same things in so many of my clients, and they still want more hair care. Like, even with the stuff that's on the market, they're like, I need X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So being able to like be a stylist, yeah, that's been really rewarding and like really fun. So started doing hair in 2021, and I think maybe 2022, I started to dibble and dabble into extensions because I did realize a lot of my clients definitely were not feeling the awkward stages and the awkward lengths or just the shrinkage in general that they may experience when wearing their hair in a curly state. So I wanted to like find that middle ground of finding like extensions that match their texture.
Mm-hmm. And how did you do that?
Girl, I was like on a hunt, like finding manufacturers, like where to get hair. First, I think it started like I was on AliExpress testing out different vendors. And then I found like a vendor that really, really worked for me. And I'm like, okay, like y'all got some like hair that looks like our hair. So I just
Yeah.
started testing it out, purchasing bundles for myself and then having other people that I know that like are really versed in natural hair, having them test it out and try it out. So, we could just see how it is. Cause I never want to sell something that people haven't tried out and actually enjoy. Like I really like to know like, okay, what's the pros, what's the cons of what I'm, gonna be selling.
Yeah. I do want to back up a little bit because you did go to hair school. You went to the Paul Mitchell Hair School
Mhm.
to get your hair license. And I like that you were candid in the fact that you didn't see it. So you didn't know if it could be a lucrative type of situation. And you talked about I saw this in your YouTube, one of your videos that you posted, and you talked about how some people think that going to hair school, it's because you have no other choice. But you
Mm.
saw that in a different way. And I really like that in your business that you do hair,
Mhm.
and then you also have all of these products, and it's kind of staying within, it's like multiple streams of income.
Absolutely.
It's vertical integration. You're keeping it all the dollar like within your own. And I think I feel like that's so smart. Like,
Thank you.
was that, did you even like, how'd you think of that? How'd
I
you
think
come up with that? That's
it started
genius.
to unravel. It just started to like make sense. Like Nia, you really have been educating people for years about their hair. You know what products are good. You know what I really know what people want. Like if I want to know what type of videos to make, all I got to do is go on my comments on any social media platform or go in my DMs and literally think about all of the questions I'm being asked, all of the complaints I'm hearing from people because people tell me like, hey, this is how I'm feeling about my hair. Like, how can I do X, Y, and Z? The answers are right there. And I think that goes back to like, the purpose question, like, what am I supposed to be doing? People gonna ask you. So people were asking me like, hey, can you do my hair? I'm like, all right, I probably can. Yeah, I can do your hair. Why wouldn't I be able to do your hair? So
Mm.
I think more than anything, I think everything just started to like unfold and reveal itself to me like that this is what I am supposed to be doing.
How do you think that all of this experience that you have digitally owning businesses, like really being the expert in hair care and products, how do you think it differentiates you from like your competitors? And do you have any?
I feel
Like,
like we all have competitors, but you have to look at your competitors as an opportunity to just improve or you can, I feel like sometimes we get too hung up on the competition piece because I use a lot of skincare. Like I don't just use one brand of skincare. I use a lot of different lip glosses. Like everything, this is the marketplace. So the more I feel like the more of people, the better in a way, or the more of like competition, the better because everybody doesn't just stick with one brand. like we use a lot of different cheese and etc. So I don't really too much feed into the competition. I take heed of what people are saying about what's being offered on the market. And I try to like implement their, complaints or their cons. I try to make sure that whatever I'm doing in my business, whatever I'm doing with my products, etc., I try to like not do that on my end piece. What was your first question?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Like, how do you differentiate yourself from your competitors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I look at what is given to me and say, okay, well, that's good. So we can all learn from each other. I adapt and I take what I can and I leave what I don't need.
hmm From just hearing you, just talk about your business, you're like bootstrapping the business.
Yes. And I'm tired. I'm so
And-
tired. I'm grateful, but I'm tired.
what do you think? Like, I don't know. Everyone talks about like the pros and the cons of being an entrepreneur full time. Like, what are your pros and cons?
Pros, I'm doing it on my own terms. At some point I was in the Sephora Accelerate program in 2021, and all the women, damn near all the women that I've done that program with, they've already launched in Sephora. So sometimes I will like compare myself, like, damn, like I'm still not in Sephora because I am bootstrapping this business and raising money has been difficult and it's been a challenge. But I think more than anything, I've kind of just said, Nia, you're doing things on your own terms. This is your first time doing anything like this. You've never done anything like this. Anybody in your family has never done anything like this. I'm learning as I go. So I think giving myself grace and understanding, like, again, I'm doing this on my own terms and I own it 100% is a blessing, because imagine I have this business, I'm building this business and I have all these investors and I don't really have any say so in what I have going on. So I think it's been a that's a pro for me. The con is just not, I guess, not being able to play 100% like how I would want to play
Hmm.
in the market, like at this time, like I just said, like, not being where I think I should be just yet. But I would say that would probably be the one of the only cons, is just not having adequate funding to do everything that I want to do.
Mm. What is adequate funding? Like, what would be what you need in order to feel like at ease?
So I think I saw a post from this. It's a beauty journal. It's called Beauty Independent, and they basically were just talking about how so many indie brands are closing because, yeah, they may have raised funding, but it was just not enough. And they say you really need almost like $3 million to really raise, like to play with the big boys in this industry when it comes to having a beauty brand. I think that's true, but I also don't think that's true. I would say maybe like a half a million. Maybe that's what I would need, because I feel like I don't need to do all of the paid marketing. Like, I know how to make very engaging content. I know how to source reliable, engaging creators that can, like, assist me in marketing my products. So I don't feel like I need to have 30 million ads on Facebook and all of these places. I feel like what you really need to do is like touch the people that you really need to touch,
Yeah.
as far as like getting your product out there.
There's a lot of like black venture capitals and black venture firms and things. Have you ever reached out to any of them to pitch your company for funding?
In a way, I mean, when I was in the Sephora Accelerate program, we did have like our pitch day where we were reaching out to a lot of different VC firms. So I have like pitched to VC firms. I've won a few grants here and there, but as of late, I haven't been pitching as much. No.
Well, and also like even though you have the money, you still have to like keep getting money to like keep
Exactly.
to sustain the business. I understand that.
Absolutely.
So you talked about bootstrapping. I was just curious too, like, being in an accelerator where other women are getting their products into major retailers, like, is that something that you want to do?
Absolutely. I want to be accessible. Like being online is cool. That's great. Like I love being online, but it's nothing like that IRL experience. Like it's nothing like going to a Target and smelling some product, or testing out stuff in a Sephora or an Ulta and actually seeing if it works. Because yeah, you can watch a video on it and see it on somebody else, but it's nothing like experiencing it for yourself. So I definitely want to be more accessible so that people really can like discover Imania Beauty outside of just me and my little bubble. Well, my bubble, not my little bubble. I want to just be able to be in more hands and in front of more eyes.
No, I like that. And I was just thinking, like, in my own experience as an entrepreneur, one thing, like, having a business is your baby. And so letting go of the reins sometimes, and like letting other people in on the vision. Like, I'm just wondering, like, right now you're bootstrapping and it's hard as hell, but at least you have a say in everything you do. Like, I'm wondering, like, if you go to major retailers or get funding from like bigger firms, does that let go of the reins of what, like,
This depends on
you
the
do?
terms. I feel like it
Okay,
really depends. I think more than anything, being an entrepreneur is you being 100% aware of what's really going on in your business. I think sometimes, and this is just with anything, people get real excited that they don't look at everything. And more than anything, I never want to lose my purpose and I never want to lose like our mission and our core. So even
sure.
as we grow, I'm still going to ensure that I'm aware of everything that's going on and that I'm the voice, because without me there would be no Imania Beauty. So I would never compromise myself and my integrity in the sake of money, in the sake of funding, anything like that.
Absolutely. What's next for Amania Beauty?
Honestly, I have to see. Like, we got some. I'm under. Honestly, I'm going under a rebrand right now. So I'm working with the
Oh,
designer. We are doing some rebranding, getting our website just like better. I just want better for 2024, and I'm working on some new products right now with my manufacturer that I've been working on for like a year,
oh my God.
like a year.
Okay.
But I'm excited because I be testing it out in the salon, and I have people testing out the products as well. So I'm excited. I'm just enjoying the journey for what it is.
When can we get a sneak peek?
Oh, okay. Give me like 2, 3 more months.
Okay.
Like let's give it to like April. I'll have something new for y'all.
Yes, we will definitely be promoting that. Where can people find you and where can people buy your products?
So you can find me, Nia, at Nia Bia Foe, Foe, Fia, Fia,
I love that.
on any platform. You can find me there. I'll be there. Thank you. If you're interested in purchasing Imania Beauty, you can go to imaniabeauty.com, or you can also find us on social media. And yeah, that's me.
Nia, thank you so much for joining A Bright Idea today. It was so much fun talking to you.
Thank you. It was most definitely a pleasure.
Thank you, Nia. That's it for this week's episode of A Bright Idea podcast. Today's guest was Nia Wellman, founder of Imania Beauty. You can support Nia and Imania Beauty by shopping at imaniabeauty.com. If you loved today's episode, then don't forget to like and subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. Shout out to my producers Kayla and Chris for the edits every week. If you have a bright idea or a topic you think I should cover on the show, hit me up on social media or email me at amber@abrightidea.show. Until next time, I'm Amber Key.